What's up, guys? This is my first ever YouTube video on this channel. And as you can see in the background, I am playing Rivals. So I apologize if there are some very rough clips. But if you have any other game suggestions for when I do other Reddit stories, please leave them down below in the comment section. And yeah, the first one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Humiliating My Ex's New Girlfriend in Front of Our Friend Group? I, 22 female, broke up with my boyfriend, 24 male, around 8 months ago. We decided to mutually call it quits and parted in pretty good terms, which is good, because we just so happened to share a friend group. After a rough patch, I decided to start taking a bit more care of myself. Eating better, going to the gym, going to therapy. The shift was pretty evident, both in my attitude and the way I look. My friends said I looked much happier and healthier, and I began gaining confidence little by little. Now, I am a huge nerd. I play D&D weekly. I have thousands of hours in Stellaris, and most relevant to the story, I like to cosplay as a hobby. Most of my old cosplay involved characters that don't show their face or body too much, but since I've been feeling more confident, I decided that for the big con in my city, I'd like to try something different. A friend convinced me of going as Viper and Chamber from Valorant. So for the past 6 months, we've been pouring most of our free time into the cosplay. 3 weeks ago, I sent a picture of me wearing the cosplay to the group chat asking for feedback for final details. My ex immediately DM'd me asking me to please not wear that cosplay to the con because it might make his new girlfriend uncomfortable. I asked what about it would make her uncomfortable, but he refused to elaborate. I knew he was dating someone new, but I didn't know she was coming with us to the con. I tried to explain to him that this was the work of months and I couldn't just throw it all away just because a girl I never met felt uncomfortable about it. In the end, I wore it to the con, and it was a huge success. I tried to keep my distance from the larger chunk of our group because my ex and his new girl were there with them. But we did spend a good part of the day with them. Throughout the whole thing, the new girl kept making side comments at me and laughing whenever I got asked to pose for pictures. Everyone looked uncomfortable, but nobody said anything. After leaving the con to have dinner, though, another friend asked the new girl if she wouldn't like to try cosplay as well. Her answer was, Why would I need more attention from guys? I already have a boyfriend. I'm not a slut. I snapped and told her to stop acting like a pick me bitch just because I got attention all day. She started to cry immediately. My ex steps in, asking me to apologize. I tell him I'll only do it if she apologizes for the way she's been acting around me all day. More and more of our friends start to join the screaming match, and it gets so bad we end up getting kicked out of the restaurant. It's been 5 days, and my ex is threatening to leave the friend group if I don't apologize. I honestly wouldn't care if he did, but some of our friends are asking me to do so to stop him from leaving. Should I cave? Am I the asshole? All right, so I personally don't think that this individual is the asshole. And it seems like a lot of people in the under the Reddit comments section also agree. For example, some people are saying that the girlfriend basically implied that all cosplayers are sluts by making the comment that she did. Honestly, I don't think that it's ever really a good idea to stay friends with an ex after the relationship has ended. So I would say that you need to find some better friends first off. I also think that it's kind of a red flag if the friend group isn't able to see your ex is in the fault, and it also seems like they clearly favor him more. So I would definitely say get some better friends first. And also, if anything, I think that she should be the one to apologize first. This next one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Aunt and Uncle that their daughter brought a strange man into my house while she was dog sitting? I, 31 female, went on an 8-day trip and asked my cousin, 32 female, to dog sit. We grew up very close, but our relationship became strained because of her alcoholism. What really pushed me away was when she started taking her infant daughter to parties and getting blackout drunk. Recently, though, she got a job and seemed to be turning things around, so I started trusting her again. She lives with her parents and has a 4-year-old daughter. Since her job is close to my house and she loves my dogs, she agreed to stay there while I was away. One of my dogs must eat every 8 hours where she gets sick, so I told her to make sure the dogs were fed and had water. The first night, my Ring camera showed her arriving with her daughter. A few hours later, a strange man showed up. He rang the doorbell and angrily yelled, I've called you 20 times, when she answered. She let him inside, and the next morning he walked out my house. I was upset. I don't want strangers staying in my home, especially around my dogs who don't like men. My cousin also has a boyfriend, so I hated being put in a position where I knew something I didn't want to. Most importantly, her daughter was there. My cousin has a history of getting blackout drunk, and I saw her bring a case of beer into my house. All I could think of was, what if she drank too much, passed out, and left her child alone with a stranger? I texted her that bringing a stranger into my home was a huge breach of trust. She apologized and promised it wouldn't happen again. The rest of the week, I noticed she was gone for 15 hours at a time, so I knew the dogs weren't being fed every 8 hours. Then she left Friday around 6 p.m. and didn't return until Saturday around 4 p.m. My text went unanswered, and I had to find someone else to check on my dogs. When my friend arrived, the water bowls were empty. When my cousin finally showed up, I told her I had arranged alternate care and she could leave the key. The next day, my aunt and uncle started calling me ungrateful after hearing my cousin's version of events. They said I had treated her badly and kicked her out. At that point, I defended myself. I explained that she brought a strange man into my house overnight, neglected my dogs, and was now portraying herself as the victim. I also sent them the rain video showing him arriving and leaving. My cousin was furious and said I was a horrible person for telling her parents and that I'd end up alone because of my personality. I replied that repeatedly disrespecting the people who care about her was way more likely to leave her alone. I only told them after they started attacking me based on her version of events. If she knew what she did was wrong and didn't want her parents finding out, then she shouldn't have done it in the first place. I think that based off this version of events, I definitely don't think that this person is the asshole. After all, the cousin was at OP's house, so it's whatever OP says, and the cousin really doesn't have much of a say on her house rules. I also do think it's very immature for the cousin to even go and take this to her parents, especially since she knew that she was clearly doing something that she shouldn't have. I also just feel really bad for her kid overall. And I think it's just a very asshole thing to bring a stranger into someone else's house. And it's just very disrespectful. Also, she had one task, which was literally to feed her dogs, and she couldn't do that. So not only is she neglectful, but she's also just being very disrespectful. All that to say, I don't think that OP is the asshole, but I do think that her cousin is definitely the asshole here. The next one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Eat What My Mother Made Me? Basically, my mother made me salmon, which I did thank her for, but I physically cannot eat salmon without gagging because certain sensory issues. And I've also told her that I have issues with eating salmon. She's never listened. I put it back on the counter and go, The salmon was good, but I can't eat it without having a physical reaction to it. And she goes off on how she spent hours cooking 3 meals. I'd be fine with the other two, just not the salmon, as I've specified multiple times to her in the past. Then she descends into talking about how I don't eat enough and that the portion I did eat was too small. Mind you, I eat perfectly fine, just not when it's food I have a genuine issue with. I've also told her multiple times in the past that I am more willing to cook and make my own meals, as I've done so in the past, numerous times. Now, to be fair, the main issue with the salmon was the skin on the bottom, which was incredibly difficult to peel off. But even when I did make that effort, I couldn't taste it the same. I just can't eat salmon, yet my mother can't seem to accept this. I've communicated my issues and solutions to her revolving around this, but she either doesn't trust me enough or forgets and then goes, What? But you've always liked salmon. But like anyway, yeah, that's the story. Now it seems like the poster has already told their parents that they don't like salmon, specifically the texture of the salmon, but the mom is still making them eat it. So I think because of that, that makes them not the asshole. I understand that people have sensory issues, and I don't think that forcing someone to eat food that they don't want to eat will resolve those sensory issues or make it any better. So because of that, I don't think that it makes them the asshole. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. All right, this next one is titled, Am I the asshole for stopping video when homeless man clearly didn't want to be on camera? Yesterday, I was waiting for a friend near a market after work. There was a homeless man sitting against the wall nearby. He looked tired, but not aggressive. Just a person who was clearly going through a tough time. A couple of minutes later, a guy and a girl pulled up. They had a phone and grocery bags with some supplies in it. They started filming as they approached him. At first, I thought it was awkward, but it was none of my business. The man turned away from the phone, covered his face with his hand, and tried to move closer to the wall. The girl kept saying something to the camera, like, "Today we found someone who really needs help." The guy held out a bag to him and said, "Just take it, we're helping you." The man didn't take the bag right away. He was looking at the ground and clearly wanted the camera to be taken away. The girl said that he is just shy and to keep filming. That's when I walked over and said that he clearly doesn't want to be filmed. She replied that they will blur faces when needed. I said they could give him food without the camera if he doesn't want to be filmed. The guy turned off the camera and became super angry. He said I just caused them usable footage for their social page. I replied that if the footage is more important than actually helping the person standing in front of them, it's no longer charity and just bullshit. In the end, they left supplies and went away. The man who was sitting there quiet all this time said thanks, took the packages, and walked around the corner. Now, I think that maybe I shouldn't have gone involved, but it really bothered me to see someone who clearly didn't want to be filmed while others kept doing it because they needed a thumbnail. Am I the asshole? I think that we all unanimously agree that this person is not the asshole. With social media rising, it's become super normalized for people to just go around to homeless people and record them for content and post it online for clicks and views. It's super annoying to see that the thing that gets the most views is when a person goes up to a homeless person and does good things just in front of a camera, but without the camera, they wouldn't do the same thing. I think it really takes away from the charitable action of doing good just to do good. I think we need to start normalizing posting hate comments under people who are going up to homeless people and recording them, and then going on the internet and posting that to social media in hopes of getting all this praise for doing all the good on camera. But off camera, they probably wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so once again, I don't think that OP is the asshole in this situation at all. I think that they actually did the right thing of honoring this homeless man's dignity. Next one is titled, "Am I the asshole for deleting my girlfriend's 41 tabs when she complained about slow loading videos?" I'm not sure how far into detail I need to get. The title says it all. She was trying to show me a video about sewing machine history, and it was taking a century to load. I asked about her tabs, and she popped it open, and we had a funny moment about the 41 tabs that are 100% slowing her video down. She let me take the phone to scroll through them, and after I was done being in awe, I just went and cleared them all. She didn't realize until I gave it back, and now she's very upset now, talking about recipes, shopping items, movies she wanted to watch, etc. I'm not sure how to feel about it. More than 10 tabs are very excessive, but she is indeed upset. Half the stuff was already listed in her notes app, too. Ooh, you are definitely the asshole. I am someone who has a lot of tabs open, but I don't find a lot of trouble with it slowing my phone down. And I've had my phone for around 5 years, so I don't think it's her tabs slowing her down. And you said half her stuff is on her notes app, which means that you're not considering the other half of the stuff. I think it's actually more infuriating the fact that OP thinks that they gained the right to delete her stuff. I know that if someone deleted all my tabs, I would be very pissed off. When the time comes, I'll delete them on my own terms, but that's not for you to delete. Next one, am I the asshole for getting back at my wife after she left me alone for my birthday? My fiance was at her bachelorette party, which happened to be at the same time as my birthday. Her friends organized it for her and she couldn't say no. I totally understood it, and I actually picked them up at the airport at 1 a.m., even though I had to leave for work at 6 a.m. the day after. I volunteered. I spent my actual birthday with friends and my family. I have a weird relationship with my mom and my dad, so to be honest, it wasn't the best time for me. Back in our city, she organized an activity to do together, gave me a gift, and went to dinner together to celebrate. During our dinner, I made a joke about her being away for my birthday, and I recognized I was a bit childish about it. I was angry because last year I postponed a vacation with friends so I could be with her for her birthday, and at the time, she actually told me that she wouldn't be happy at all if I had left. She basically gave me no choice. So, yes, mine was a joke but with an angry tone, and she didn't appreciate it. I got angry as well, and we ended up arguing, ruining the last part of dinner, and not speaking to each other till we fell asleep. Am I the asshole? Should I have avoided the joke? So there are also some edits to this to answer some questions. We're both 30 and both doing therapy since we understood years ago that we actually needed to resolve our own issues. Our friends actually like me. I volunteered to pick them up because it was either me or one of their 65-year-old mothers. I appreciate all the feedbacks, but please don't judge our whole relationship or who we are based on this. We argued and probably should have communicated better, but we all make mistakes. I'm sure you'll regret some words that came out of your mouth. Before I say my response, I have a comment about the last thing that he said in his edit. It's Reddit, so people are gonna say some stuff that you may not like, and I think that posting it to a subreddit titled "Am I the asshole?" I think you should expect some things that you may not want to hear. Anyway, the answer is yes. Yes, you're the asshole. The joke was not funny, and it was clearly something that was meant to be passive aggressive and a jab to hurt her. You also say very clearly in the beginning that you understood that she had to go to this bachelorette party that her friends organized for her. And then even after that, you continue to make the joke that you did. So it seems to me like you really weren't okay with it, which I think is something that you needed to be communicating with her. This is also someone that you're getting married to, and you're both 30, so you're both clearly adults. And I think that there are better ways to handle situations like this, like communicating. And I think that, the backhanded compliment was clearly not the way to go. And I think that OP now recognizes that, but they're still the asshole. And the next one is, am I the asshole for canceling a trip with my parents to instead go with my friends? So, for context, I, 18 female, graduated a few weeks ago, and I will be starting uni in another city, like 5 hours away, in September. I was part of our school's theater club, and since five of us there graduated this year, we decided to throw a goodbye weekend getaway at one of our guys' cottage. After much talking and thinking, on Monday it came out that the only possible date is the last weekend in June. However, here comes the problem. I already had a weekend trip planned with my parents that exact date since February. Here's where I might be the asshole. After many thoughts, I decided I'd rather go to that getaway with my friends than go on the trip. Reasons are that we just won't be able to get together during the summer holidays, and I have no idea how often I'll come back home to visit after starting uni. Therefore, how often I'm going to see them. These really might be the last moments we get to spend together, and I want to make the most out of it. As for the trip with my parents, we already have other trips planned over the summer holidays. Plus, we already talked about them coming to visit me every now and then in case I won't be able to make it home. I told my mom about this the same day we set the date, to which she just said that it's up to me to decide what I want more, and honestly never really outright said how she feels. On the other hand, I told my dad, who plans this whole trip, on Wednesday, and it went right about how I expected. He got really mad at me. I am a bit confused because all he said slash asked was if I would pay my share of the trip, Airbnb and tickets, which I said I would. I was just counting with that when I made that decision, to which he said, "Oh, so you're just throwing money around?" Honestly, I might not even have to. I asked my aunt whether she wanted to go instead of me, and she said she'd think about it, so we'll see. Also, he murmured something about me wanting to be everywhere, but I didn't hear him clearly, so I don't know. He ended the conversation without giving me much space to explain my side. He just said that at the end of the day, I'm an adult already and I can make my own decisions. Then he gave me the silent treatment these past few days, something he does when he gets upset with me or my mom. Well, today he was talking with me more, but he was really passive aggressive about everything I did slash didn't do. And he didn't mention anything about the trip. Now, I'm just really conflicted on what to feel and what to do. All of my friends I've talked about to this, including those not involved, said I'm not the asshole, but I can see why I am. I mean, I'm putting my friends before my parents, and I suddenly am canceling on a long planned trip. Honestly, at this point, I'm just more sad, upset about the whole situation with my dad. I get that I hurt his feelings, but he should also try and see my side. I just fear that he won't do so, and also that he thinks I made this decision on a whim. I really didn't. So, am I the asshole? Given that this was a long planned trip, I do think that you are the asshole here. I think it's very inconsiderate to put your friends over your family in this situation. I think that one person said it best. You are being hurtful. I understand that you're an adult and you can make your own decisions. But 4 months ago, you planned a family vacation you have paid for, and you canceled last minute for what you considered a better opportunity. That's hurtful. That's not mature. That's not good adulting. They have been looking forward to it for months, and it's your last hurrah with your parents before college. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but your dad's allowed to feel hurt that you canceled on him last minute and chose other people. You're the asshole. I also found it funny that the person said that the only weekend they were all free was clearly not a weekend that was open for OP, yet they still decided to make the plan with the friends, knowing that they had a family trip plan on that date. Anyway, that will be it for today's video. If you guys have any suggestions on what you guys want to see more of on this channel, please let me know down below in the comment section. This is just a channel that I want to do for the fun of it. I really appreciate if you guys watched all the way till the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much.